Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I am excited. Today is probably one of my most favorite days of the year. And for of you who do not know me, my name is Shakima Wilson. I'm a pastor. I have a ministry called First Love Ministries with Shakima Wilson, and it's a ladies' ministry. The Lord established that ministry in 2014, was the very beginning. And we started with a group called Daughters of Grace. And we progressed and added on other arms of that ministry. Daughters of Grace were my ladies in their 60s. I had a lot of seasoned saints that would come and listen to me each week, teach and preach and talk and share. And I asked the Lord, I said, what do you want me to tell these ladies that are twice my age? I was in my 30s when I started First Love Ministries with Shakima Wilson. And the Lord said, I want you to tell them that they have value. And I said, okay, God, I absolutely will tell them that. As we progressed along in 2020, the Lord gave me a ministry arm called Titus 2 Women. He said, and likewise, the older women shall teach the younger women to be of sober mind, to be good women, good wives, and good mothers. And I said, oh, wow. Okay, God, do you want me to start that? And he said, I do. And he said to me in that instance, he said, I don't want you to invite anybody that you know. He said, none of your friends, none of your family can be a part of this ministry. I want you to put it out into your YouTube community, because back then I just had YouTube. I had just started doing a little bit more on Instagram, and I had Facebook. He said, I just want you to put it out to your YouTube community. So we put it out to the YouTube community, and 100 women responded. 88 women responded after the second email, and 68 of those women showed up to our very first meeting, the first Saturday in June 2020. Since then, over the last 4.5 years, we've had women come, we've had women go. The Lord told me, he said, Shakima, your ministry will be a revolving door. Many women will come, many women will go. They'll come in, they'll take what they need, and they'll get what they need, and they'll take it back out into their sphere of influence. And I had that word before Titus 2 Women started. The Lord had given me that word before I even started First Love Ministries. And I was like, okay, God, very good. Well, is this our second or third time? I think 3 years ago, my ministry is very central. It's centralized to women, but it's not just about women. It's for women. In regards to them being women, in regards to them being wives and being mothers. So I was thinking about this today earlier, especially since I've been posting a lot of decluttered content. I do a lot of mommy stuff. I do a lot of budgets. I do a lot of home. And someone asked me, they said, Shakima, tell me a little bit about your ministry. And I said, I have what I consider a ministry of the home. I am concerned with everything that goes on in my house, from my children, my husband, when the Lord sends him, ministry, meals, cleaning, budgets, all the things that surround the home. And the woman is a very big part of that, or she was designed to be a big part of that. And so about 3 years ago, I don't know what I was doing or what prompted this. And for those of you that are joining me, thank you so much. Would you type your name in the chat? Let me know who's here, like the video, do all of that, thumbs it up, do the hearts and all that. That just helps us to get out into the algorithm so other people can know that we are here. And I'm, again, not sure what all I was doing at the time, but I very specifically heard the Lord say to me, the Love Dare. And so this is my 3rd January that I will be going through 40 days of love. Now, let me show you what the book looks like. This is my book. This is a leather-bound copy. One of my lovely YouTube subscribers sent me this in the mail. I'm so excited. But I have a paperback copy that I got from Amazon that I had been using. I did not need to buy a new book. I was just using it. But it is a dare. This is a 40-day love challenge for those that might be love challenged. Hey, Amy, For those of you who might be married and your marriage is challenged. For those of you who are thinking about getting married, you've already asked somebody to be your person from death, from now till death do you part. But a lot of people don't really mean that. We say the words and it sounds good, and we get the fancy wedding. We post all the Instagram selfies and pictures, and we got the little spinny thing going around, and woo, everything is great. And that first bump in marriage takes us straight to divorce court. And because I know that the Lord has given me a ministry to women with a very strong focus on being a woman, being a wife, and being a mother, marriage is important to me. Now, Shakima, you're not married. For those of you who have been following me for years or just a little while, I don't make any bones about the fact that I am not married. I desire marriage. I'm just not married right now. I was married before. I've been divorced, separated and divorced now for 15 years. In that 15 years, I have had interest in men, but men have only had interest in one thing where I was concerned, because they did not consider me a good match. First of all, because I had children and they didn't want to take care of anybody else's children. Well, the odds of any man and any woman finding their significant person that doesn't have children, especially later in life, are slim. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's slim. And then I had men who wanted to do things with me that I feel like should only be done with a husband. And so because I was not willing to sacrifice myself for their $100 meal, because if you buy me $100 meal, there's something out there in the atmosphere that says if you go out after 7 o'clock, they expect something. So you're going to have to meet me at 7 a.m. and I'll meet you for coffee, because if I got to go out at 7 p.m. and then do something for this meal, I may as well stay home, because I'm just not going to give myself to any and everybody. And so the Lord has given me a heart for marriage. He's given me a heart for other people's marriages. He's given me a heart to sow in knowledge where I didn't have the knowledge when I was married. Now, again, people will say, well, Shakima, you're not married. And I'm not going to listen to somebody that's divorced tell me about marriage. I would be cautious in that, because I am divorced. I know the things I shouldn't have done. I didn't know them when I was married, because I didn't have a mom to teach me. My mother was not married ever. My grandparents were married, but they argued every day for 50 years. And so I knew a lot of contention. I knew a lot of stress. I knew a lot of strain. I knew my grandfather loved my grandmother. My grandmother loved my grandfather, but it was all of this just every single day of your life. And what I didn't know when I got married was that wasn't normal to me, because I grew up that way. That was normal. And when I married a man who wouldn't argue with me, I thought something was wrong with him. And just to say this, and I hope I'm not going to get myself into any trouble, but you have to understand the mind of somebody who didn't know a lot of things then, because he was not physical with me, because he didn't go upside my head. I thought something was really wrong with him. But that's what I grew up in. That's what I knew to be normal. It took me going through a process of renewal. It took me cleansing my mind. It took me finding Jesus, first of all. It took him to take me through a process, and it took me losing my marriage to realize that I didn't know a lot about being married, even though I was married. And so I never wanted anybody to go through those problems if I could help some type of a way. So I get it. If I'm not for you, that's why I'm not for everybody. Everybody doesn't want to hear what I have to say. I believe in traditional marriage. I believe in the woman in the home, the husband at work, even though I work. I believe that both husband and wife can work. I believe in mom taking care of the home things and the dad taking care of the outside things. That's just what I believe. Doesn't matter. What does the word say about marriage? That's what matters. And I have had over the years women say to me, Shakima, you've helped me with my marriage. Or I went back to my husband and I apologize because of something you said to me or something that we talked about in group. Now, here's the thing. I don't go around bashing other people's husbands. I actually don't want to know what your husband did to you. If anybody watching this is being hurt or is in any imminent danger, please stop watching this video. Go to your nearest hospital, fire department, or police station and get the help you need. I'm not telling anybody to stay in anything that is harmful. But I am telling us that some of us give up way too soon and way too early. And some of us enter way too soon and way too early. I don't know anything about this man except he looked good. Very good. Does he provide good? Do you know anything about his relationships at home? Do you know anything about how he deals with family? How does he argue? Does he argue? Do you know anything about how he deals with finances? Do you deal with finances? So we jump right, he cute, she cute, we jump right in, we get married, and then what do I do with this person? So what I'm doing, because I believe that the Lord has given me a gifting to do it, it's my calling, is to help marriages. It's to help people stay married. It's to help us strengthen marriages. And that's just my calling. That's my small percentage of what God is asking me to do. Again, I'm not for everybody. I am for some, and that's perfectly fine. If you're here for it, great. If you're not here for it, my feelings are not hurt. But I do want you to know for the next 40 days, the next 40 days, I will be coming live every night at 9 p.m. to talk about one of the dares. Now, you all remember that game, Truth or Dare. I am trying to pull up something that I want to share with you all in just a second. But y'all remember Truth or Dare, right? You know, if you either tell the truth or you have to do some type of a dare. I dare you to go over there and ring that person's doorbell and then run away. You know, you have to do a dare. So if you have not seen the movie Courageous by the Kendrick brothers, in 2008, I believe that movie came out, Courageous. It was starring Kirk Cameron, and I can't remember the lady's name. And then the black guy, I can't remember his name either, but Kirk Cameron's character was a firefighter, and he and his wife were going through some issues, and he was very hardened, not only towards his wife, but also towards his mom. He had some issues towards his mother. So he was treating his wife kind of like he was treating his mother. And he said to his dad, hey, listen, I'm leaving this chick. I'm done with this marriage, blah, blah, blah. I got other things. Now he had some stuff going on as well. And his dad said to him, he said, Caleb, because his name was Caleb. He said, now listen, Caleb, I understand what you're saying. And I know that you're at the end of your rope. But what I want you to do is give me 40 days. He says, I want you to read this book, and I want you to do what's in this book. And if in 40 days, this has made no change and you still want to go through with divorce, then I'm not going to stand in your way. And I kind of am feeling a little bit weepy at the moment because I think, and I, again, I'm not talking about anybody in a dangerous situation. What I'm talking about are people who won't give their spouse 40 days. I don't have 40 minutes for you, is how some people have felt. I felt that way. I don't have what it takes to really dig into what the word says about marriage and give you my best. And I hate that because the divorce rate is so high, and it doesn't have to be. I hate when people say marriage is work, but is marriage work? I think it is. It's all of us working on ourselves, trying to be better, but then we're working to make the other person feel esteemed. And it's not just me making him feel esteemed, but him making me feel esteemed. So it's us working together towards each other to make each other feel the best that we can. And marriage just works. But does that take work? Absolutely. And a lot of people don't have staying power. A lot of people aren't staying married 40 years. A lot of people ain't staying married 40 days. It becomes so very easy to dissolve or the dissolution of marriage in certain places. I live in North Carolina. You cannot easily get out of your marriage in North Carolina. There is a 1-year waiting period from the day of separation. And if you get back together for a trial togetherness and it doesn't work, you start counting again from the day of the second separation before you can even file for divorce, because we believe, the state believes in North Carolina, that 1 year of separation is supposed to be through mediation. It's supposed to be for the purpose of reconciliation. I'm giving you 1 year to determine if you really want to be divorced. So here it is not easy. I don't know about other states. I know some other people saying, oh, I can get married, I can get divorced in 30 days. Where they do that at? So depending on where you are, it could be a lot easier for you to get out of it. But I want you to, if you're willing, and just those that are willing, because they start off the book and they say, don't think that this is easy. It's not easy. Because more than it's going to change your spouse, if you do this dare correctly, the dare is going to change you. This dare has changed me, and I'm not even married anymore. What I do pray and hope is that the Lord does have second marriage for me, and I will be able to esteem my husband to the highest degree, because I already know what it's like to go through a divorce. I do not desire that again. That was not nice. It wasn't kind. It wasn't easy. It was horrendous. My heart felt like it was being ripped out. And I'd rather just kind of stick in with somebody that's trying to stick in with me. And I'd rather put the work in with somebody that's trying to put the work in with me. So I've been talking for a few minutes, just trying to give you guys the overall general what I'm going to be doing every single night. If you do have questions, please do drop it in the chat. But I want you to be very forewarned that this is not an easy challenge. It's not impossible, but it is going to require some work on your part. You're going to have to take time away. You're going to have to sit down. You're going to have to put your phone down. You're going to have to say, hey, I can't go out tonight. I can't do this. Well, whatever you're used to doing for the next 40 days, you're going to have to give attention to your marriage and trying to make it work. Now, with that being said, last week, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I think it was in December. I came on and I shared with you a marriage evaluation. So I'm going to go and share my screen very quickly so that you can see this marriage evaluation, what it looks like, and what it is supposed to do. So this is the marriage evaluation. This is, again, for the Love Dare. And this has a series of questions that you're going to go through, and you're going to answer the questions. Now, for those of you who aren't married or you don't desire to do this for your marriage, you can actually do the Love Dare for your children. They have a separate resource where you can do the Love Dare for parents. How can we nurture? How can we treat our children with such esteem? Excuse me. How can we train them up in the way that they should go when they're old? They will not depart. So it gives you options. I'm doing the couples evaluation because marriage is my lane. Not to say that parenting isn't, but for the first 40 days of the year, I focus on marriage. I may come back around and focus on parenting. That might be something good as well. But right now I'm focusing on couples. So this evaluation is free. I'll see if I can't. I'm going to pop this into the chat. I will pop this into chat for anybody that might be interested. If I can figure out how to get, oh, there's my chat. Okay, very good. I'm just going to pop that into the chat. And if anybody is interested and you did not do the marriage evaluation, before you start your dare, which starts tomorrow is the first day, but we're going to preview the night before so that you're ready to go when you get up in the morning. If you have not done the marriage evaluation, then I'm going to encourage you to click on that link, grab the marriage evaluation, and don't be afraid of the results. Now, I'm done with that part. I did my marriage evaluation. Now, I did this marriage evaluation based on what I know now, being a divorced person. Does that make sense? My results would have been way different had I done the marriage evaluation when I was married, because I promise you, I would not have scored a 900 out of 1,000 points. I know everything now. I knew nothing then. And answer those questions very honestly, because what it's going to do is it's going to tell you where you have strengths and where you have areas that you need to grow. So on here, I had 2 areas that I needed to grow in. They probably were strong, but I probably needed to grow. One of the areas was affection, and that talked about physical intimacy. And because I'm not physically intimate with a husband right now, I just had to answer, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He might, but I'm not sure, because I'm not being physically intimate. And then another area was allowing. So there's 7 areas when you go and take the marriage evaluation that you're being rated on through those questions. One is attention, acceptance, affirmation, affection, allowing, apology, and abiding. And what's important here, after you take the test, I printed out my results, but I want to show you what's important. So if I look at my results, right, it gives me a little chart, tells me what my results are. Now, again, 900 out of 1,000 points is coming from the perspective, I've already been divorced, so I know what to not do. I know what I've prayed over the 15 years that God would help me become, right? So I'm coming from that perspective. But what it does is it gives you your score for that particular attention, right? So I have this score. Then it also tells me which days in the 40 days is an attention day. So days 3, 4, 18, 30, and 31 are attention days. It also gives me some verses for those particular days that would help me to navigate that day, if that makes any sense. So I printed out my results because I wanted to be able to write in my book, which I'm saying it's going to take some time. So I went into my book and I wrote out for every single day what that was. Today is tomorrow's day 1. Day 1 is an acceptance day. I wrote down all of my scriptures. I wrote down some notes. I have some sticky things in here where I want to, make, I want to come back and highlight some things, or I want to read something, or I want to, there's something special about this sticky note here. I need to focus more attention on that. So what I did was made sure I put all of my scripture verses and what type of day this is. Tomorrow is day 1 of the dare. It is an acceptance day. Tomorrow talks about your love and patience. Most of us don't have patience. Then it also, and it breaks down those days. So days 1, 6, 10, 17, 27, 37, and 39, those are acceptance days, right? And then it breaks down those days and then the scriptures. So I think that's important to write down, write in. Maybe you may not, but I do. Okay. So anywho, that's just kind of the overview of the dare, if that makes any sense. I just kind of wanted to hit that really quickly because some of you, I'm sure, are joining me for the very first time. If this is your first time joining me for the dare, would you just put first time in the chat just so I'll know? And I think in your book somewhere, you might want to write in, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing the dare? Just because I'm out here doing it with you, that's not a good enough. Hey, now, how are you? Good to see you. That's not a good enough reason to do it just because you want to hang out with me. This is way too important. This is for married people whose marriages are on the rocks. This is for married people who's married, they're happily married and you want to be more happily married. This is for those of us who aren't married, but we desire marriage. This is for those who are engaged and you want to be married very soon and you still want your marriage to last beyond the wedding. I have zero concern about your wedding or mine. I have zero concern about my wedding. I have more concern about my marriage. What am I willing to give? What am I willing to do? What am I willing to sacrifice? Am I willing to to die daily to myself, to my wants, to my needs in order to esteem my husband? Those are the questions that I have to ask if I want to stay married. What I have now in my singleness is the gift of choice. I get to pick who my husband is. When I got married before, I just picked whoever because he picked me. We picked each other. Bad choices. Now I get to look, I get to discern, I get to pray, I get to look over your life. You get to look over mine. You get to microscope. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok, and I'm on everything else. You get to look and say, oh, what is she doing? Right? I'm an open book. I'm out here. But now we have a choice. And so I'm thankful, even though I would have preferred to be married by now, I'm thankful that I know how to pick and choose now. All right, we're jumping in because I've been talking too long and I don't want to keep anybody long. Most of the nights won't go this long, but I just wanted to get that little bit of ahead. And I also did the Love Dare for Parents assessment as well, just in case. That also tells you different things. It gives you some information that is helpful. So the Kendrick brothers, Alex and Stephen Kendrick, wrote this book. They also had another co-author that helped them with the book. And he says before they even start, this is so good. He says, receive this as a warning. This 40-day journey cannot be taken lightly. It's a challenging and often difficult process, but an incredibly fulfilling one. To take this dare, requires a resolute mind and a steadfast determination. Resolute means purposeful, it's determined, and it's unwavering. In order to make it through the 40 days, you have to be unwavering in your desire to do all that you can do humanly possible to make your marriage work. Now, none of us can make another person do anything. So again, when I said, don't look for changes in your spouse, I meant that. This dare is to change you and your behaviors and how you interact and how we process information, how we communicate, how we get down, how we love each other, how we are physical with one another. Do you know that some people have zero clue how to be physically intimate with their spouse? They just don't have a clue. Most of us were never taught. My grandparents never taught me. I promise you, we didn't have one conversation, not one. And here I am getting married and not realizing that there's going to be some things, child, Lord have mercy. And no amount of school playground talk or gym talk is going to prepare you for that particular portion of marriage. Nobody gives you the bird's eye view into what finances are and commingling finances together, especially when one's a spender and one's a saver, or when y'all both spenders and y'all spend first and think about it later. There's a particular couple on YouTube, just out there in social media world, and I look at their finances and it's trash. It's a wreck, and that leads to problems. Or again, one's a saver, one's a spender, but we haven't found a happy medium or happy balance. We haven't decided that my money is not just my money, but my money is your money. So there's a lot that has to happen in this marriage. And so this dare really is for you. Okay. We're going to move into day one. Day one is important. And day one talks about love is patient. He starts off, or whomever's writing, because it doesn't tell us who's writing what portion, but it says, let me go back to reading that other thing that I was reading because I think it's important. It is not meant to be sampled or briefly tested, and those who quit early will forfeit the greatest benefits. If you will commit to a day at a time for 40 days, the results could change your life and your marriage. Consider it a dare from others who have done it before you. Hey, Ray, good to see you. Hey, friend, thank you for the card. I love it. It is hard, but I love that. Ray said this is the third. She says, this is my third time doing the Love Dare. I'm yet to make it through the 40 days, and some of us won't make it through the 40 days. But we've tried it, and we've gotten back on the wagon, right? You don't have to just do this with me. You can do this as one of the scenes in the movie, when his wife finds out what's happening, she says to him, "What day are you on?" And he says 43. She says, "Well, there's only 40 days in the book. How are you on day 43?" And he says, "Because I really didn't give it my best effort the first time, so I've decided to do it again." You can do this again and again and again and again. It doesn't just have to be a one and done. You get to decide that. I get to decide that. And I'm going through it with you the same as if I were married. There are days when I wish that there was somebody here that I could do this with, but I don't have that. And so I choose to pour into people who want to attach to this. We're jumping in. Okay. Day one. And I wanted to start here. Few of us do patience very well, and none of us does it naturally, but wise men and women will pursue it as an essential ingredient for their marriage relationships. That's a good starting point to demonstrate love. Are you patient? 1 Corinthians chapter 13, 1 through 3, but then it starts at verse 4, and it says, "Love is patient, love is kind." Do you have patience? Most of us do not have patience. We're already working too many jobs. We got too many kids. We have too many baby mamas. We got too many problems. We got too many responsibilities. There's so much going on that I don't have any patience for anybody anytime ever. I'm uptight. I'm cranky. I haven't eaten well, so my diet is poor. Now my mind is foggy. I can't make a good decision. I am not patient. And if you get in my face, I'm going to let you know, hey, you're in my space. I don't have time for you, or whatever the case is. And we're like this, and we think, oh no, that's not me. Most of us are. It takes an effort, and it takes the Lord to really help us to be patient people. It's not a natural part of who we are. It's a natural part of who he is, because once we think about all the times that the Lord has come back and given us time, another chance, another chance, another chance, another chance, another chance, another chance. But we don't have one chance for the person. They've done something, it's rubbed you the wrong way, and now for the next week, you're in a mood. You don't want to talk. You don't want to be involved. You want to withhold the love. You don't want to, just whatever the case is. They start off Ephesians chapter 4, verse 2. This is in the NIV. It says, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love." Be completely humble and gentle. Most of us think more of ourselves than we should, which the Bible tells us not to do. Because if we really think about it and really evaluate who we are, none of us are that good. We might have our moments. We might have our days. Some of us have good years, but some of us have absolutely terrible years. We have terrible days. We just bad to be around. Our attitudes stink just like our behind. We don't even want to be. Who wants to be around you? All you do is nag. All you do is gripe. All you do is complain. Who? It says, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love." I love you so much, and I understand that you have so much pressure that I'm not going to charge you for getting angry with me. What I am going to do is I'm going to overlook this instance. I'm going to ask you, is there anything that I can do? I'm going to make sure that the house is clean. I know that's something that you appreciate when you get home. Hey, I work too. I don't have to just clean the house. Oh, I get it. We have shared responsibilities. That's why we're doing the declutter challenge. Throw out half the stuff, then you don't have to clean but half the house. It's just junk. It's clutter. It's too much. It's causing all of this anxiety, anxiousness, and all this stuff. And we don't have any more patience, toleration for anything. Just leave me alone. Just get out of my face right now. Are we patient and are we kind? Because love is patient. It does not remember a wrong done to them. But we keep a running total in our head of all the things that they did. And when they get on our nerve good enough, I'm about to bring out my list. And on this day you did this, and then you said, and then you did, and your mama and them, because we keeping a record of everything. Now, love doesn't keep a record. But we do. And so you have to ask yourself, can I do this? They start off, this is page 1 if you have the book. If not, no worries. If you do not have the book, you can Google the Love Dare PDF, and you will be able to find the full book in PDF form. And you will also be able to find like the cheat sheet of what the dare is for the day. So each day you have a reading, then you have a dare. Okay. Love works. It is life's purest and most powerful motivation and has far greater depth and meaning than most people realize. It gives courage to the coward. When somebody loves you completely and totally, all the way that you are, it gives you courage to do things that you were not brave enough to do before. Love is wisdom to a fool. It's wisdom to a fool. It always does what is best for others, and it can empower us to face the greatest problems. Love is or can be an action. It should be. We should be loving people with what we do. I can love you in word, but I need to love you in deed as well. Right? Go back to that. It always does what is best for others. Love thinks about other people more than it thinks about itself. I'm in a marriage relationship. Myself, my husband, partners together. This decision is going to cause my husband to have anxiety. It's going to cause our bank account to go in the negative. It's going to cause me to have anxiety with my family or his family. So maybe we shouldn't do whatever the decision is to do. I love you enough to go around your family, even though they treat me like crap. I love you enough to not want to have a bad attitude around your family. So I'm going to let you take this one. I'm going to take this one for the team and just stay home. You go have a good time. I know when I come, it's not a good time. Everybody's on edge, whatever the problem is. Love can motivate a man to put away childish things, provide for his family, and take passionate stand for what he believes in. I love my family. So, have you ever heard about a man going hard for his family? A man who loves his wife and kids, he going hard for her. He working every day. He's paying all the bills, or as many of them as he can. He's making sure they don't go without because he loves you hard. Yeah, I realized that before I had a family, I could just be footloose and fancy free, but that's not my testimony right now. A man who loves his wife and understands his assignment don't have time to be hanging out every night with his friends. He's now changed priorities. I was doing all that when I was single, and it was fun and it was good and all the things, but I got a family now. No, I got to go home. Hey, you want to go out to happy hour? I don't have time for happy hour. I'm happy at home. Because when you go to happy hour, your wife is anxious because maybe she's put on a little bit of weight after the baby, or because of this baby that you put in her. And now she's kind of anxious because you're going out to happy hour looking at all them 24, 36s, and she over here 46. No, that never happens. It happens quite often. And so love takes you home. Any of y'all ever saw the movie Boomerang? Wasn't it Halle Berry and was it Eddie Murphy? I can't remember. Don't give me the line because it's been so long. But somebody had done something and went out and done something else. And she said, love should have brought your behind home last night. Love will bring you home. I'm happiest when I'm with my people. I'm happiest when I'm providing what I need to provide. I'm happiest when I'm doing what I need to do. I'm happiest when I'm in your presence. We are born with a lifelong thirst for love. Everybody wants to be loved. All of us desire it. Not many of us get it. All of us desire it. Not many of us get it. And that is unfortunate. It's most unfortunate. But we can get it and we can give it. Jesus is love. He shows us, he teaches us how to love each other. He said, God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever shall believe in him now shall not perish but have eternal life. He gave us himself as an example of what love does. Love does all the things. It covers over every wrong I've ever done. It doesn't bring up my past. It doesn't talk about my past spending habits. Love stops spending badly. Love stops causing firestorms. Right, Ray? Right? Shakima used to be a fire starter because I grew up in such a contentious household, my mouth became one of those things where I could just say whatever, do whatever. You're not going to get the last word in. You're not getting this last word, sir. It's not going to happen. And I'm going to argue you down to the ground. Love shuts up. Love says, listen, it's not worth the feeling of the house. It's not worth this tension that's happening. It's not worth sleeping with one eye open, not sure what's getting ready to happen. It's not worth it. So I'm just going to be quiet. That doesn't mean that we back down from what we believe. Sometimes you do have to have heated fellowship and discussion. I think sometimes I would, heated fellowship and discussion leads to nice making up, right? But we don't have to be ugly to each other. Love doesn't tear each other down. Love doesn't say, well, if you was half a man. Love doesn't say, well, my ex wouldn't have. Ma'am, sir, don't ever, ever, ever bring up your ex to your spouse. That is not kind. It is not loving. It's a jab. It's a dig. It is. Don't do that. And I have to pray that myself. I will not start fires today with my words. Words are damaging. Words can hurt. Words can wound. And people say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It's lies all the way around. Words hurt. The Bible tells us very clearly, and you need to know this. I got the heater on and it's hot. It says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Most of us say things that have been inside of us for a long time, and we've been holding on to them. And we're waiting for the perfect opportunity to say things. Can I tell you, social media is really just, never mind. I'm not going to talk about social media. I'm going to move on. Love inspires a person to become patient. When you choose to be patient, you respond in a positive way to a negative situation. You are slow to anger. You choose to have a long fuse instead of a quick temper. Rather than being restless and demanding, love helps you settle down and begin extending mercy to those around you. Love will allow you to extend mercy and grace where mercy and grace really aren't warranted, because that is what God gives us every single day. He gives us his mercy. He gives us his grace, even when we don't deserve it. And so because he teaches us that through how he interacts with us, that's what we should do when we're interacting with other people. Do we not know this? And this is very true. Some of us treat other people better than we treat our spouse. Some of us don't treat our spouse like they're human at all, or we treat them like they are superhuman and they're supposed to be at our every beck and call. And when they are not, then we take offense and then we retaliate. Oh my God, I felt that deep in my spirit. Listen to me. When you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm going to retaliate. I'm going to get mad, and then I'm going to do something. I'm going to have a headache for 3 weeks in a row. Did you do what I said? No, we didn't have the money. Okay, well, right. We got this. We're attitudinal. And we feel very justified to have attitude because you didn't do what I wanted you to do to make me happy. Do you realize that it is not somebody else's job to make you happy? Let me just spend 1 minute right there. It is nobody else's job to make you happy. Can I be happy with a person? Yes. Do I desire happiness with my loved one? Yes. Do I want to be in a happy relationship? Yes. But the other person, it is not their responsibility to make you happy. You should be one whole person, happy or not, on your own. And you bring your happy and they bring their happy and y'all are happy together. Does that mean you're happy every day? Does that mean every day is roses and tulips and you tiptoeing through the wildflowers? Of course not. There are some days that are harder than others, but I'd much rather walk this difficult road with somebody that I love and that loves me to the point that they're going to give me their very best every single time. Every single time. Some of us treat our strangers, we treat our family, we treat everybody else better than we treat our spouse. Just walk all over them, men and women. But at the end of the day, you got to go home with that man or that woman. So if I were you, I would learn how to shift my affections from other people. If you go into Genesis chapter 2, verses 18 through 25, it talks about it talks about the man needing a wife. He leave your father and mother, cleave only unto your wife, right? That's what it talks about. It's my loose paraphrase. Go look it up. Some of us treat our mothers better than we treat our wives or our husbands. Typically, that's a man-woman relationship. That's a son-mother relationship. We treat our mothers better than we treat our wives. Or we feel like we're still, our mother is the primary person in our life, not our spouse. Wrong. Very wrong. Very wrong. Your affections have now changed once you marry somebody. And you now have to learn that person, their proclivities, the things they like, the things they don't like. And you have to say, is my going out 3 nights a week, even though my husband doesn't love that, is it worth the displeasure, the dishonor that it's going to cause him? Or should I just stay my behind at home? You got to ask yourself that. I'm going to move on. Patience, this is very good, and I think you should write this down. I'm on page 2. He says, patience stops problems in their track. More than biting your lip, more than clasping your hands over your mouth, patience takes a needed deep breath. It clears the air. It stops the foolishness from whipping its scorpion tail all over the room. Patience is a choice to control your emotions rather than allowing your emotions to control you. And it shows discretion instead of returning evil for evil. It brings an internal calm to an external storm. Patience says, hey, I need to take a breath here. Patience is what I call, I need 5. Give me 5. I need 5 minutes to go somewhere else. I'm going to be right back. I understand you're saying this and I need to process it. Give me a minute. It's my excuse me moment. I got to go to the bathroom. Hold your thought. I'm coming right back, but I got to go to the bathroom. Patience is that 5 minutes. I need to go calm myself down. I need to talk myself off the ledge. I'm in the mirror. Oh, no, he didn't just say what he said. Oh, no, we ain't going to pass by that like you ain't say what you just said. And I got to have this whole conversation in the mirror, in the bathroom by myself so I don't blow my stack at my spouse. And then I got to get it together. I got to woosah. And then take myself back out there and listen. Please say what you said again. I want to understand. I got to take all of that emotion that I'm feeling right now because I'm about to let you know what it is because you don't know me. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from here. You're not going to talk to me crazy. Sir, I don't know what your last one. See, love says, I want to hear you correctly. I want to make sure that I respond properly. Can you please tell me that one more time so that I can understand? Because I'm from the streets. If I take this earring out, you got one. Listen, let me tell you how it works at my house. This is a warning that nothing else you do from here is safe. If you approach me, there's going to be problems. So I'm going to need you to take 4 steps back and stop talking to me. Love keeps your earring in, y'all. I know I'm Southern and I'm from the South and I'm genteel and all that, but I really wasn't born here. You understand? Oh, it's rough. You out here like, oh, you and you want all of that to go at that person, but that's not the proper response. And when you're patient, it changes. Proverbs 14:29 says, he who is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who is quick-tempered exalts folly. It's probably the Bible's way of saying you a fool. Folly, foolishness, fool. 14:29 Proverbs, he who is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who is quick-tempered exalts folly. You are foolish. Foolish. Remember when Lot's wife told him to curse God and die? He said, you must be a foolish woman. What is wrong with you? Where did you get that from? How did you surmise to this conclusion? Something is wrong here. You are foolish. You spoke too soon. The Bible also tells us that a kind word can turn away wrath. Oh, no, we arguing today. Oh, I'm arguing this point. No, I'm not. Do you know I'm just too old and too tired to be arguing over stuff? Can we not come to the table and have an adult conversation and decide what's best for this family? That's why before you get married, you better make sure that you have good conversations. I understand that other stuff could be good. Probably stop doing all of that and have some good conversations. And I'm not talking about after the good stuff conversations. I'm talking about keep all your clothes on and let's have a talk. Can you come to my house? No, let's meet outside. Because you go in the house, the mood is right, the music is right. The next thing you know, you have an after adult conversation. Come meet me out. We need to talk a lot. You need to know what I got going on. I need to know what you got going on. How many kids, how many mamas, how many debt. You need all of that, because all of that is going to rear its ugly head when you get married. It's just waiting, because marriage is God's idea, and it's a good idea. But the enemy does not desire for you to be married, not married right. He doesn't desire for your family to work, because the family is actually the way for us to get out of this crazy foolishness that we're in, the restoration of the family. And I'm preaching. That wasn't the plan tonight, but listen, I'll take it. You talk too much. Guilty. I've had to learn how to just be quiet. I have a friend on here. Her name is Celeste. She says her pastor says you have to study to be quiet. Some of us just talk way too much because we like hearing ourselves talk. And I promise you, it's a lot. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but the slow to anger calms the dispute. That's Proverbs 15:18. Statements like these from the Bible, book of Proverbs, are clear principles with timeless relevance. Patience is where love meets wisdom, and every marriage needs that combination to stay healthy. Love and wisdom have to work in tandem with each other. Now, I've been talking way too long. You'll have to go back and read the rest of that. It wasn't a lot. Tomorrow starts the Love Dare, January the 5th. We go January the 5th through February 13th, so that on Love Day, February 14th, if you desire to do something with your spouse, you're not waiting for me to give you day 14. So I moved it up a day. Tomorrow's Dare, day 1, tomorrow's Dare. The first part, this is on page 4 if you have the book. This is what it looks like. Page 4, it gives you the dare, and then you have some reflection room. You have room to reflect how it went. Tomorrow's dare, day 1. The first step of this dare is fairly simple. Although love is communicated in a number of ways, our words often reflect the condition of our hearts. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What is in here is coming out, I promise you. So I would focus on what is here. God, can I not have these feelings? Can you help me unpack? Can you, if you need therapy, whatever you got to do to deal with what's in here, because what's in here is coming out, and probably not at a good time. For the next day, all day tomorrow, resolve to demonstrate patience and say nothing negative to your spouse at all. Nothing. Tomorrow, resolve, make an unwavering choice, make a conscious decision to not say anything negative to your spouse at all. If the temptation arises, choose not to say anything. It's better to hold your tongue than say something you'll regret. Now, after you go through all day, you're going to check here once you complete it. So if you did the dare and you made it through, you give it a check mark. And then you have questions. Did anything happen today to cause anger towards your mate? Something might have happened, but we're going to write it down. We're going to evaluate it. We're just going to put it in our reflection. Were you tempted to think disapproving thoughts and let them come out in words? And then how did you handle it? So we're going to reflect here. Yeah, I was mad and he said this and I wanted to say this. Put it all in these words. Just don't let it come out your mouth. I think that's good. Ray put this in the chat. She said that this is the hardest part of the love dare for me, really looking at myself and not exactly loving what I see. Most of us don't, because we think that the dare is to put our spouse under the microscope. This is to put you under the microscope. Now, again, you can't force anybody to love you. You can't force your spouse to want to receive your dare, but you can do it. You can focus and choose to be the best version of you, regardless of what somebody else does. Because in here, he talks about what if your spouse doesn't want to participate? That's perfectly fine. It doesn't mean you can't do it still. There are some spouses who don't want to have anything to do with this. There's some spouses who are not believers. Some of us were married to unbelievers. That was your choice, but it's still important for you to make your marriage work. All righty, you guys, that's all I have for tonight. I will be back tomorrow night. I'm traveling in the morning to minister out of state, and then I'm turning right back around to come back. So I do have to work on my sermon for this evening, and we have to hit the road very early in the morning. So I do love you guys. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for your marriage. I'm rooting for my marriage, even though it has yet to manifest itself. But I'm looking at a card that I wrote on. I have a mirror behind me, and I'm looking at a little sticky note that I put on my mirror, and it says, to be a wife. I desire that with my whole heart, with everything that God has placed in me, because I think the message is so much stronger when I'm preaching it from a marriage perspective, if that makes any sense. But until that happens, I'm doing the best I can. But I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for your heart to be changed. I'm rooting for your heart to be drawn towards the Lord. I'm rooting for your marriage to be what God has for it to be. Anywho, y'all, I'm going to go so I can prepare for tomorrow. Love y'all. Thank you so much for stopping by. Like this video. Share it if you feel like there's somebody who would benefit from the things that were talked about here tonight. I'll be back tomorrow where we talk about or prep for day number 2. Thank you, guys. Oh, very good. Hey, Lex.